Eating Disorder Awareness Week, and joining me now to talk about the causes, the signs, and how you can help is dietitian Dina Merhbi. Good morning, Dina.
Good morning, Laura.
So you have specialized in eating disorders, dealing with people that have eating disorders for the past 15 years. Are there common causes that you see sort of through all the patients that you have worked with?
The thing with eating disorders, it's not like a fad diet that's gone wrong or somebody that's choosing to have an eating disorder. There are actually three categories in terms of developing one. So there is a genetic aspect, a predisposition.
Really?
There are also personality traits that might make the person more probable to have an eating disorder, and there's also the environment. So we see in terms of social media, the peer pressure, and so on. All those three factors have to come into play for somebody to develop an eating disorder.
When I think eating disorder, and I'm sure when many people, watching think eating disorders, they think anorexia and bulimia, but it doesn't end there.
It doesn't end there, and those are the ones that we're more familiar with. But now what we're seeing in terms kind of little step types kind of creeping up at the bottom, and the two common ones I always like to talk about now are orthorexia and bigorexia.
What is orthorexia?
Orthorexia, the best way to explain it, it's a subtype of anorexia. It's somebody who builds their own healthy eating requirements, and their joy of life is following those requirements, and there's no more joy in terms of food. So somebody might hide behind, I'm a vegan, or I'm eating a raw food diet, or I'm doing a detox. And yes, some people actually follow that for their own beliefs. But when it becomes kind of like a Bible or religion and they don't want to deviate from it, that's when we say that there's maybe a little bit of an issue of an eating disorder with that one.
My goodness, and that is harder to diagnose, I imagine, because there are not really any signs.
There aren't any signs necessarily. There could be, for example, underweight, or they've lost some weight, but it's really as we do the interview process that we see when did it start and what happened, and there's any catalyst that actually brought in that healthy eating period, we have to diagnose it, but it does take more time than just anorexia that is easier to diagnose, let's say.
So what tips do you give? I mean, because I imagine it's, you hear about when someone has a disease, it not only affects that person, but also the family, the people around them. So what tips do you have for those people that are living with someone with an eating disorder?
So the first step is really acknowledging that there is an issue. That's really the first step of saying, okay, there's something that I'm not feeling good with and I'm unhappy. So the first step is doing an information detox. So we're not talking about food detox. We're talking about Facebook groups, social media, anything that you feel is putting pressure on yourself and feeling that your self-worth or your self-esteem is related to what is said in the media. So you want to kind of unsubscribe from all that and all the newsletters, because you do want to start fresh. And the most important thing is do not go through this on your own. There are so many resources, so much support. You have enough to deal with your life, your family, your kids. Seeking a professional that is specialized in eating disorders, a therapist, a group support, a dietitian, will get you to recovery much faster than you, again, trying to search with all the information online.
And I mean, the statistics of people suffering from eating disorders are really startling. Nearly 1 million diagnosed in Canada. So what does that mean? A lot of people are hiding this?
Because of the stigma and the shame, a lot of people don't get diagnosed. And again, it's not like clear like cholesterol or cancer. We have a medical diagnosis. It's all in terms of assumptions. You're saying this, and I think you fall under that category. So if it's 1 million diagnosed, imagine those that are hiding, that are not aware that they have an issue like orthorexia or body dysmorphia, which people really want to kind of bulk up to an extreme. So those could be so much more. We don't have stats, but...
And it's becoming more and more prevalent in men as well, right? You think it's only women, but men as well are dealing with this.
We talk a lot about women because anorexia, the fashion industry. But now we see in terms of men, when they have a bit of insecurity in terms of their small body type, then they become a little bit more aware of going to extreme measures to bulk up their muscles. So people that go to the gym every day, a few hours a day, changing their eating pattern, doing way too many restrictive eatings to kind of bulk up, but then it gets them into the I need to be like this to be happy, to be healthy, to be accepted. But then again, there's no joy in their training, and there is no joy in the foods that they're eating.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dina Merhbi, for coming in this morning and talking about what is certainly a very serious and important topic that needs to be discussed.